the taxes, how do they, get us to debt recovery and to a projection of 1 trillion economy?
Okay, thank you very much. But before then, I think quickly I need to get this thing addressed. Not in the history of this country have I ever fought projections. I think we are developing something in our society that people just bring anything they want to deceive other people and blame other people for not doing it. I've never ever. 2, I never said a mere projection. The word mere is different from just. My emphasis was on the fact that it is a projection we are working towards, and believing our data and what we've done, what we are doing, measures put in place, we will get there. And that's what the minister said is one of the greatest achievements, so like policy statement or projections we've made. So I never said mere as if I'm trivializing it.
But in Ghana, sometimes when we want to say mere, we say just.
But they are not the same. So I want to correct that.
You say it's just a projection.
And please, the issue about agric and industry have been coming down. Let's be very honest. 4 years down the line to 2016, we had continuously power outage for about 4 years. And if you are talking about major elements or ingredients of building and sustaining industries and the agricultural sector in terms of the entire value chain, you can't take away energy. We were even growing as a country, averagely 7%. For 3 years, till this COVID and other things came that we started having impaired productivity and the co-minimis that affected our fiscal space. That is now leading us to this controversial taxes, either we should increase or decrease. So something, coming back to the taxes, you enumerated all of them. I don't have to repeat them. And some of our colleagues have even lauded the fact that they are good, except that some of them also think they are not significant. But let me tell you, I want to read this thing from our PFM Act. The Public Financial Management Act 2016, Act 921, Section 1. If you read 1 and 2, because of time, the 2A and B, a framework to support a sound fiscal policy and the macroeconomic management of public funds. And then the B, process for the preparation, approval, and management of a transparent, credible, and predictable annual budget. That one will be important because it says that the object of this act is to regulate the financial management of the public sector within a macroeconomic and fiscal framework. So tax policy management is calibrated in nature. This is what I hold for my brothers NDC, not just to say they've done worse or bad, but I'm making a point. 2014 to 2016. It's interesting, my brother, very good brother, Dr. Toforsen, very intelligent, but I think sometimes intellectual dishonesty. And what he's doing, and people would have done same. So I'm not trying to shade him or throw shades or anything. 3 years, tax items that NDC government increased or introduced were 26, including condom and carrier tax. You remember, financial those things. 2017, under His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, tax items we increased we reduced or took away entirely 17, including these same tax elements I'm talking about. Then we started increasing taxes under Nana Addo, and we even got to e-levy. So you either increase taxes, reduce, introduce, or otherwise, depending on your fiscal space. A country that we, from 2022, as I said, even global debt to GDP, which one of my senior brothers is saying that it is not important but how to pay. I'm even surprised. But then it's his own opinion. Debt to GDP globally was around 258%. I stand to be corrected. That was 2022. We had over 80%. And our only way out now is to recalibrate our tax policies and generate revenue internally to consolidate our fiscal space, restore the economy, and then move on. And this is what this government has been doing. But then in doing that, in the context of the manufacturing issue, the government had to listen to the people and make some, adjustments to suit the manufacturing industry. And also rolling in things that the globe even consider most. Climate, energy, and also dealing with plastics and other things. So the tax policies that we are doing today is to consolidate our fiscal space, continue the restoration of our economy, and also build very stable and grow our economy. And it's extremely important that we do that. You know, we are expansionary fiscal policy adopters as a government, as a capitalistic in nature in terms of fraternity. We are supposed to leverage the private sector, which we are doing. But of course, for you to generate revenue, look, you know that our economy, we are negative effective tax rate economy. Meaning that annually, whether NDC and PP, taxes, monies that government spend, if you divide them among all the households, the amount each of them get is far more than monies government generate excluding loans. So we always run deficits, and it's a problem. Only about 2 million people out of 32 pay direct tax. And even indirect tax, there are leakages and problems, making us always not having enough money to move this economy forward. And this time that we are in, as a government, you remember, we had revenue shortfalls over 12 billion. Private sector had to sack about 40,000 people, payee, corporate tax, they all went down. But we still need to finance our goods and services and commit ourselves to our social contract. How can we do that? I want to ask this question, Samson. Those who are saying we shouldn't take taxes, our debt to GDP is high, so we need to slow down. Fine, I agree with them. What is the alternative? How are we financing our goods? They say, cut down government. I agree with them. How much are we going to get from cutting down government? And even the expenditure thing that we are talking, which I agree. That is why I'm saying that financial economics, they are about numbers, data. You cannot just make qualitative statement. It is very important. Maybe the advice I give to those who are directly linked to some of these management issues is to try and run both correlation and regression analysis to select items that do not impact our GDP very well and cut all of them away so we can cut more. But if we look at what this government is doing, but for sometimes propaganda, and look at this statement, that exemptions are being given to cronies. By which definition and context? All the finance committee members, we have NDC and MPP. We look through all these things and approve them. So my brother, Honorable John Jinapo and Co. and Dr. Atofosi are saying that they supervise, they take part of approving those who are only cronies of MPP. You don't do these things. Does it mean that they don't qualify? Do they have processes that because they are cronies, they just overlook everything and approve or otherwise? Are they not Ghanaians? I think it is time that some of these propagandistic comments just for political interest, we should stop, because we can't keep on recycling all these issues. It won't help. But this communist inferior tactics, we should stop, because we are dealing with the economy. As far as I am concerned, what I am interested in today is our ability as a government to manage this economy very well and make sure that we are moving on, which you see, all the primary macro indicators are coming down. And what I agree with my other commentators this morning is that how can we translate these numbers into attaining the utility and satisfaction Ghanaians need? That is the key thing. But for anybody to say the numbers are not important, is it not the same numbers that give us that to GDP over 80 and people were complaining? Is it not the same numbers that gave us inflation up to about 50% that people were complaining? Now that it's 33, now that it's 66, now that we are picking growth and going, they are not important again. What manner of society is this? And let me also end with this, or let me speak about this. When we talk about industries, factories, companies doing well or otherwise, something, we always either intentionally or as a result of displaying intellectual dishonesty or ego trips, concentrate only on the government. That is not true. We have a country that have very weak entrepreneurial ecosystems. If you like, let any government pick 1,000 entrepreneurs in Ghana, give them $1 million each, no interest rate. After 2 years, let them come and talk. So let's concentrate on all key stakeholder groups and individuals and work on them. That we also have to understand the fact that the opportunities government create, it is left with the entrepreneurs and investors to also take advantage of. Wasn't this same government that when we came, we reduced importation taxes by 50%? Right. Car, if you bring car here, we reduce that by vehicles by 30%. Right. What happened? And even the importers themselves, most of them, no matter how you reduce it, they also declare what they bring. So it is our own collective responsibilities to make sure that as a country, as much as I agree, the policymakers, such as the government...
The final part of the statement that Steve has made is so important. Often we ignore it. We are our own undoing in this country. We know it. And you see, there's one thing that I can never take away from you. As he spoke about the propaganda being done by the NDC, he admits that if they were in the NDC's situation place, they would have done the same. That's one thing
and that we should
that I can never take away from you. He was the guy who sat on this show and said they should delay this 2 and 4 deputy CEOs and all these, plenty of them, wasting our resources. He's in the government. But, well, will he be listening to? Yes, sir.
In line with
yes.
our goals.
I hear you. Yes. Don't refine.
You just cut me.
Yes, you are done. Yes.